I really hear that rattle. Hello, folks. Hello, folks, and welcome to this downbeat. You can hear that bad. Let me mute you for a minute, James, because I want to talk for a minute, and you can unmute yourself when you want to talk, because I keep hearing that rattle. It must be a connection issue. I don't know. It's strange. All right. So this downbeat hangout, because mute it for a little bit, because we're tired, and I worked all day, and there's Michael. But tonight we're gonna do a Wildcard Wednesday, and here's the beer I have. I'm in Louisiana. John and Neil's in Georgia. Michael Komaroff's actually in Florida right now visiting. Oh, that might be a good idea. Get off and come back on. And then James P. Madonna is in New Jersey, but he's having some little. You could hear that rattle, huh?
Oh yeah, it started getting louder there at the end.
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse. All right, so we're doing Wildcard Wednesday, and usually that's on Eric's channel, Thomas Metal 75, but he can't do it tonight, so I said I would do it, and I did it last week as well. We got Will E. Kepley from North Carolina. Hello, Will. William Kepley, we haven't talked to you in a while.
Been a while.
But I know John and Neil talked to you last week when y'all were doing the after hangout. So I already showed y'all what I have. I have the Pabst Blue Ribbon Easy. And then James.
I have.
It's doing that rattle again. Oh, we're going to go to John and Neil. What do you have, John and Neil?
I've got Amstel Light.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
I didn't realize how low ABV this is. It's only 3.5% alcohol, so very light. And 95 calories, 5 carbs. So very light beer. I think I've had this, but it's been a long time, and I believe it's Heineken International brand.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's actually imported from Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's from the Netherlands, and it's been to some extent replaced by the Heineken Light, and a lot of I wouldn't say replaced, but upstaged.
It was on sale. I went ahead and just bought a 12-pack. It was $8.99 for a 12-pack, and I know this is usually a premium.
Yeah, that's
premiumly priced product, so I got a deal on it.
Now, James P. Madonna, what do you have?
I have 5% alcohol by volume, Samuel Smith Organic Chocolate Stout.
Oh boy, that's a winner.
Certified organic chocolate stout. This is the stout that where I couldn't get up early enough for the stout Sunday, but I figured, why not?
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah, I never had a chocolate beer type beverage ever. This is my first, and
thank you. I love it because it's a dynamite product, and that's a thick head, but it'll dissipate. By the time you start talking about it, it'll go down. So you're getting a lot of. It's good to let that head build like that because it releases a lot of carbonation, and then it's not in your stomach, making you full and.
I even tilted it like they do when they pour Guinness stouts, and well, it's okay. It's a stout, I'm sure I'm going to be happy with it. I don't know how strong the chocolate's going to be, but it's interesting. Certified.
I think it's going to be pretty strong, and I believe that the Samuel Smiths are living ales, like the yeast is still alive in the bottle, so I think it's fermenting in the bottle until you open it. But now, William Kepley, what do you have?
Wow.
He stepped away. We'll get back to William. Now, Michael Komaroff's going to be, he's down in Florida, so he's going to try. Oh, there's William. We'll get back to you in a second, Michael. What do you have, Mr. William?
This is a special occasion. I have a product of Urban Legend.
product of urban legend.
Urban
Okay.
legend. I have a bottle of Cisco.
Oh my gosh.
Cisco Kid was a friend of mine, or that's something.
If this is a friend of yours, I'm not too sure, but I guess we'll find out.
Huh.
The Cisco Kid.
Now, William, the Cisco, is that a wine or is it a malt beverage wine flavor? I can't remember. I know it's made by a company called
It's made by the same company as Mogan David.
the Wine Group. Yeah.
Right. It is a flavored fortified wine.
Oh my. I've seen those around for years, but I never had the guts.
First time I ever saw it, I was shocked. You know, last week at the same store, I picked up a Earthquake High Gravity 10% in a new can design. And I happened to spot this Cisco. And I came home and I looked on the internet, did a little bit of reading about it. I said, I want to grab one of these because I may never see it again. And so this is one of these curiosity purchases. So I hope it goes well.
Did you happen to watch my video I posted for the Earthquake High Gravity 10% revisit?
Yes.
It was rather long. I shouldn't have made it so long, but I couldn't figure out how to make it shorter. When I started talking about it, I wanted to cover certain points. So, but people were commenting positively about it. They said, no, they liked it at that length. So that made me feel better.
But yeah, so it is Wildcard Wednesday. After the name is Wild, so I figured this, wouldn't be inappropriate.
I don't know about wild this week. The guys are tired, they said.
Yeah, we're tired. So it's like downbeat Wednesday for us. But yeah, I agree with that. If there's no reason why you couldn't bring the Cisco, heck. Now we got Tyler joining and Michael. So if Michael and Tyler can hear us, tell us what you have, because we're going to start examining these. Oh, and by the way, that 10% Earthquake has improved. I know it's improved because I could actually drink it and not suffer. Okay, Michael and Tyler are going once. Michael, you're muted. So, Michael, you got to unmute it.
The Cisco Kid. He's not.
Is that better? Is that better? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a 25.4 ounce oil can of Foster's.
Oh.
Lager or ale?
Lager, and it's now brewed in the United States and has been for a while, even though it was originally brewed in Australia, or so they say.
Yeah, it was.
Is it about 5% alcohol, since it doesn't say on the can?
The lager is 5, and the premium ale is 5.5.
Okay, so it's 5% alcohol. Do you know where in the United States it's made?
Yes,
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, Texas.
So this is a Miller brand now?
Right. For
Well,
U.S. distribution purposes.
No. It's
Okay.
made by Miller, but it really is owned by Anheuser-Busch InBev.
Which is
So
now owned SAB Miller.
Right.
SAB. So it's one of those it's a complicated trail.
It's a complicated trail because the company that makes Foster's really is called Carlton United Breweries, Carlton United Breweries, which at this particular moment, which could change anytime, is Anheuser-Busch InBev brand. The thing about that beer, Michael, is they use special hops that are only grown on 3 farms in Australia. Now, whether that makes a big difference, the Prado Ringwood hops, but and they have a secret yeast. But one day you might try the green label, the premium ale.
I've had that before.
Oh, okay. All right. And so Michael's down in Florida, and then Tyler, can you read us? Tyler, can you read us?
Is Michael in Del Boca Vista from the Seinfeld episode?
No, I'm in West Palm Beach.
Oh, not too far from my friend.
Not too far, about a half hour by car.
Yeah.
Tyler. Okay, you're missing out, Tyler, but he's busy. It's only 4:41 in Seattle. All right, well, back to me. Pabst Easy is 110 calories. That's the same as Bud Light. Can I get a definitive answer on the alcohol by volume? Unofficially, people are saying 3.8. Seems plausible. My friend David gave me this 6-pack, so thank you, David. Garlapede, who people keep asking for you to come on these hangouts. All right, so it's got this kind of unusual looking can. I mean, it's the Pabst, but it's a different color scheme. You know, it's strange a little bit, but and they've got a different write-up about it down here. So it's kind of an unusual item at this time. I wasn't expecting it to show up in Louisiana, but it did. Okay, so give you about a 2-minute rundown of it. It's golden. I put it in my Pabst glass, of course. And I'm going to read all the comments, y'all, at the end, okay? So I promise to read all the comments. It's yeasty in the nose. It's a little fruity in the nose like lemon and pale malts. And I guess they're using brewers' corn syrup, the brewers' dextrose maltose syrup. The flavor. I agree with David that it has a nicer flavor than Bud Light because this yeast, that little lemon note, the pale malt. But I will say that
Rhoda.
Rhoda.
Oh, did you do John's beverage? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah. He's doing. We're going to go to him next. He's doing the Amstel, okay. And it's got. Even though it has a little better flavor than Bud Light, I find it has a thinner flavor. It has less body, and it's a little thin. So maybe it is 3.8% alcohol, but it is the same calorie count, 110. So I'm pleased with it. I'll give a rating at the end, but I wouldn't get too fretful if you can't find it. It's fine, but don't get downtrodden if you can't get a hold of it.
All right. Don't get downtrodden.
All right, Mike, John and Nilly.
All right. So the Amstel Light poured. Very, very light straw appearance. It poured with about a finger and a half of a foamy head, which has died down. Very, very bubbly, very carbonated. The aroma, super light. You're getting some faint barley malt. Like a white bread aroma. No real hop presence on the aroma that I can pick up. That's pretty much it. It's very light. I mean, 95 calories, 3.5% alcohol. So let's go ahead and taste it. Cheers. Very, very light. Highly carbonated. You're getting a nice little sweetness with it. It's got that nice white bread crust thing in the middle of the sip. It does have a slight herbal, like grassy note on the finish from the hops. It's not bitter by any means, though. It's very, very light and watery. I mean, it's you could drink this down like water. It's super light. It is very refreshing, crisp, clean. Finish is dry. Well, no, the finish is watery. It's good. It's a good light beer. It's too light for my personal taste, but I see the appeal with it. I mean, it's a very well-made light beer, and it won't take me any time to get through with this. I'll give a rating when you go back around, but I've got a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I believe you, and I think I know what you're going to say. Okay, James P. Madonna, you got the dessert special tonight.
Okay, head has dissipated, but I was very pleased with the aroma. Strong cocoa aroma, chocolate. Definitely They didn't skimp on the cocoa. I'm going to taste this. I mean, as far as the aroma goes.
Yeah. I like that beige head.
Oh boy. It's like taking a great stout and throwing in some dark hot chocolate. It's very chocolatey. It's very cocoa-y, if there's such a word. Boy, this is a dessert and a beer in one.
That was my experience when I had it. I was really raving about it. You know, I need to go buy it.
This is fabulous. And the great thing, like you said, it's chances are it's still fermenting with the live yeast in the bottle. It's certified organic. It's like cocoa is a powerful antioxidant as well as uncle oxidant. Ha ha ha. But anyway, I would definitely get it again. As stouts go, I mean, not quite as bitter as the porters, would probably have a greater amount of hops. But I think it's porter would be sprouted barley as opposed to roasted barley, right? The rule of thumb.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, but anyway, very strong chocolate flavor, and I definitely get it again. We rate it at the tail end, right?
Yeah, we'll come back around and rate it.
Okay.
Okay. So now, William Kepley, what about this Cisco oddity?
I can just picture the scene in New Orleans, Rod Ontario, in one of the finest restaurants. The waiter comes by. Would you care for a pre-meal drink? May I suggest a Cisco?
Yeah, over there. Yeah, over there.
2018.
2018.
Yeah, and Antoine's are 2 jacks. Yeah.
I'll pour this myself here. I don't have a.
Well, I still have
something tells me that Antoine's and the Court of Two Sisters is not going to have It's not going to have Cisco, but the corner store around the right down the street here, because we went to some very interesting corner stores, and in one of them, man was ranting and raving about he was going to stab everybody. So that was not good. All right.
Got in my.
Well, as far as refreshing wines, though, I'm telling you, I still got plenty of that Carlo Rossi White Zinfandel.
Yeah, and hold on, folks. Monday night at 7 o'clock Eastern time, we're doing the Parmesan Marsala, and then in February the Madeira. Okay, back to William. William.
It does have a rather strong peachy aroma to it, with an undercurrent of just like a sort of a general spirits aroma. Nothing repulsive or off-putting. And this one clocks in at 17% ABV.
Oh baby, it looks peachy. The color looks like peach.
So I guess cheers.
Cheers and best wishes.
Cheers.
This also goes by the name in the urban myth. It goes by certain names as liquid crack and Kool-Aid from hell. So,
and take note, people, that this is actually stronger than Four Loko. Might want to consider that.
What did Red Fox say on Sanford and Son? He mentioned Ripple a lot.
Yeah, that was an old wine that they discontinued in 1984.
Ripple.
It was an actual brand.
I remember Thunderbird and Night Train.
What?
Those are still around. I saw the two Thunderbird variants. I saw the 2 Thunderbird variants the other day. Well, William's still.
Excuse me. As you start to amp up the ABV on these things, the booze it's harder to hide. And with this, you definitely get the visceral effects of the alcohol, the warming, a burning sensation, but still you get some of that sort of an artificial peach flavor comes through. And for 17%, it's pretty drinkable. But don't never confuse this for a wine cooler. If you do, you'll be in a ditch pretty soon. But for what it is, you know, it's okay. I mean, how are you going to rate this by style? This is an alcohol delivery system, pure and simple. That's what it is. So if that's what you're, inclined to partake of, you know, it is, you know, it's fairly drinkable.
Buzz-o-matic.
And it's interesting because if you look at the wine group's website, they have a lot of pretty decent, respectable brands on their website.
They do, and but like I say, this is an alcohol delivery system, pure and simple. You know, it's not to be, but I wouldn't guzzle it. If you sip it, you know, you don't get that rush of the booze. If you take just a regular, like a sip of it, you're going to get, you know, the nostrils burn, the throat, like that. Because, and at 17%, I mean, this is bumped up pretty high. Like Four Loko, their highest is 14%.
Right.
There are a lot of products in the 12 to 13% range. Like I think most of the MD products now are 13%, except I think the red grape is 18%. But so it's 17%, and you know that bottle. I mean, this is an innocent looking bottle here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it screams wine cooler. And then you look down on the side, it says 17% alcohol per volume. Whoa, it ain't no wine cooler. So
No wine cooler, baby. I was looking on the wine group the other day, the wine group LLC, and they had Mogan David. And then they have the Mogan David 2020, and then the Cisco brands. And it's an interesting website, in fact. But anyway, now, Michael Komaroff, if you're able to talk, then start talking.
You have to unmute yourself, though, Michael.
Well, we have to skip over. I hope you're all right.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. It seemed. Hi, John. I see you now. You're coming up on my thing on the top.
Oh,
it's okay.
hello.
It's a very active carbonation coming up through it. So it's actively carbonated. It's a very clear yellow color with a very small white rim head. When I say small head, the head doesn't even go through the center. It just goes around the edges. So it's the smallest pot, and I poured it so I would get a head, and I'm not getting one, which for whatever reason. The date on the bottom of the can, and one thing I think you have to do with these things, they're always pretty fresh. It's good until July 19th, which means we're talking about 6 months before it. I'm sure it's fresh, so that's not the reason why we don't have more of a head. Jay, do you remember this having a bigger head when you've poured it before? I don't know.
Well, yes, but it depends on how wide the brim is on the glass. If you have a wide brim glass, you might not get much head on it, you know. And I think you had one of those tumblers, right?
Right. Well, actually, now I'm at my mother's house. So I'm pouring it in like a glass. How would you describe this? One of the glass has a bottom on it. You've seen these kind of glasses. My mother is not too good in terms of her beer glassware, since she doesn't drink any beer, but this is serving the purpose well. So anyway, let me get to the nose. The nose is grainy.
Yeah.
Like cereal grains.
That's right.
Let me give it a taste. I've been drinking it, so this is not my first.
It's an adjunct lager, and it's always been an adjunct lager since 1889 when it was first developed by two British guys who were living in Australia.
Is the adjunct corn?
I can look that up. I think it's brewer's syrup.
Okay.
Which is made from corn.
The taste, and I guess I could, you know, from my days of drinking more macro things, I can remember back. And this tastes like other macro lagers that I've had in the past. It's really doesn't taste that much different.
No.
It has like a typical macro lager kind of taste to it. Let's see if I can describe it better. I don't know. I don't want to say it has a lager taste because that's not descriptive, but it has a taste of grain, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, cereal grains. Yeah,
a cereal grain taste, but there's certainly nothing off-putting in it. It's very drinkable. It goes down pretty easy, and there's nothing bad about it. It seems like it's a good lager. I can't say that I can taste the Australian hops in it specifically or the yeast strain in it. It seems to be like other macro lagers to me, but it seems to be okay. I mean, I'll give you my final rating when you come back to me.
Okay, let's see here. Foster's nutritional information. It says 146 calories. They make it with water. The second ingredient is barley malt, then yeast, then the dextrose and maltose syrup. That's the brewer's syrup, and then hops. That's your ingredients. Just like I thought. Okay.
Okay. That follows.
I think if someone who drinks the AALs on a regular basis, you might be more easy to discern any differences. I think. To me, the Fosters did have a different flavor than the run-of-the-mill adjunct lagers, but I've drank a lot of them on a regular basis, which gives me more of a baseline. So, but I do think there is something a little bit different about the Fosters than some of the other ones.
Eric said he's drinking a Old English 800. Eric, a Lions fan, should be joining us right now. I sent you an invite. Oh yeah, I agree, William. I think the Fosters, if you just occasionally drink a macro lager like Michael, and he almost never does, you wouldn't really notice that it's the same old thing. But if you're like you and myself and John and Nilly and others that are like fixated on these things, I'm saying that to myself, fixated on it, or drink it all the time, you do pick up a difference. And to me, it's a difference that shows that it's a little better quality. And I would like to try the Foster's Gold, which is the 7.5% that they sell in India, but sadly we don't get it here, the Foster's Gold.
I like the Fosters myself. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was pretty at 5%. I liked it, and I would,
Oh, me too. And I love. What about the premium ale? You like that one too, huh?
Or the 5 point, yeah. Or also, and those oil cans. I think here in the supermarket you can get they're like $1.77 for a 25.4 ounce can. Not price wise, not bad.
I've seen that around. Yeah, for that price.
Now I paid $2.29 for this oil can. Is that competitively priced?
It's a little expensive. It's a little expensive because like I noticed some gas stations were offering those for $2 for $4. If you bought 2 cans, you get it for $4. So the price is gone.
They had a special deal. If you bought 3, you got 2 free. But there was no point in buying 5 since I'm only going to be here through Friday, and you can't carry it on the airplane unless you put it in checked baggage. And I wouldn't even bother carrying this in my checked baggage anyway. So it didn't. And I'm not saying it's bad.
Right, I got you. Yeah, I mean, it's not a horrendous price. It's just not the optimum price. Now, but like I say, like some of the viewers that are watching, like Eric, a Lions fan, and others, if you want to join, you can, and we'll let you catch up on your like your description and all if you'd like to. But I'm going to wrap this up on my end and say that and there you are, Tyler. You can jump in anytime if you like. I see you just muted over there. Nice mountain scene, though.
I wonder if he knows that he's on.
Oh, yeah. I remember the other day he was like, let me tell you how something. And I was like, no, we're live, right? Oh, we are. I like that. That was funny because he did the whole big thing. And I was like, you realize this is live? Oh, no, I didn't realize. My beer, the Pabst Easy. Oh boy, here's sirens again. For a beer overall, I guess it's a B. It's good. It's well made. These people know what they're doing. And I think that the code is 06, which means from Irwindale, California, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. That is California. That's the one that's been rumored to be closing.
Uh-oh, another one?
But pending that lawsuit,
maybe they're going to turn it over to Pabst since their headquarters is in LA anyway.
But that they probably need a presence on the West Coast. The fact that they've got quite a few based in the East. But I think that they did the right thing there by these lawsuits. There's a lot of posturing at the beginning, a lot of talk, and at the end, usually cooler heads prevail and common sense prevails because they had a lot to lose.
Yeah, and the cooler heads prevailed while the jury was deliberating.
Right. Yeah. All of that other talk just went by the wayside, and they did have a lot to lose because a jury could side with an underdog like Pabst, and that was a $400 million potential amount of money dangling. So I think, like I said, cooler heads prevailed, and now I think that like they'll be able to work something out here with the details. But I think probably wise that they done that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree. Okay, I'm going to say a B overall for light beer or diet beer. It was originally called diet beer, which I think is a more accurate term. For dieting beer, it's probably an A or an A- for a diet beer. Does it approach the Michelob Ultra? Well, I'll say this: it's not worse than it. It's not worse. But it has a little bit more calories, but it's a lot cheaper than Michelob Ultra, so it's however you want to balance it. Now, John and Neely, what would you score the Amstel Light from the Kingdom of the Netherlands?
Well, as I continue to drink it, it is getting a little bit better. You kind of have to adjust your palate to these super light beers if you're not used to drinking them before you can really pick up on some of the character that they have. It really is a very well-made light beer, and this is right there in quality with the Michelob Ultra, probably slightly better than Mich Ultra because it's got that European. It's just got like that grassy note. Overall, for me, it's not getting an A because it's too watery. It doesn't have enough flavor. But if you're a light beer lover, you could give this a 98 out of 100, and I wouldn't argue with you. But overall, for me, it's good, but it doesn't quite make it into the A range because it doesn't have enough flavor. I'm going to go with an 87 out of 100. I think that's fair for this beer. It's just too light for me, but it is very well made, and this is one of the the hardest style of beer to brew because any little mistake in the brewing process is going to be magnified because there's really not a lot of flavor, and it would just be god awful if there was anything off with this beer, and there's not. So,
there's nothing to hide behind. There's nothing to hide behind.
Right. Exactly.
So, okay, so we got a B and a B. Now, James P. Madonna, you score yours.
Jay, what's your number B?
85.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, since it doesn't have the typical full body flavor of, let's say, a Guinness stout with the bitterness from the hops and everything, even though I do like the aroma and the flavor of the cocoa, the chocolate, I would have to give it a 95 amongst all the stouts I've had in the past.
Wow.
The Yinling stout was not quite as good as Guinness. So, I got to be honest, but this was interesting. This is literally a dessert and a dark beer in one. And I would get it again, but it's I still like the Guinness better overall, and of course the better porters.
Yeah, well, 95 is still a mighty fine score, and I don't know if you've ever had the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, but that's even more delightful.
Never had that, really? Oh wow.
7.5%. super rich, and it's just soup. It's like Guinness Premier type thing, you know. All right, now William Kepley, and then I'm sorry, Michael, and then William. Michael, what do you score yours?
I'm giving it an 80.
An 80, a B minus. That's fair, but I would go higher. But you know how we have different ideas about beer. Mike.
And again, if I was somebody who does drink macros on a regular basis and can taste it, tasting better than some of the other macros, I would rate it higher. I don't have the expertise to do that. I'm calling it as I see it.
Yeah, and that's what I preach all the time. And that's not a style of beer that you drink. So hey, well.
Did you like the Foster's Premium Ale better, Michael? Can you remember?
I did. I think I would have given that like a B+. I thought that was much better.
Yeah, I like the ale better too. It's got more flavor, but the Foster's Lager is good as well.
Yeah, I just wish they still made the Foster's Lager around here in the bottles. I used to like to get the 6-pack of 12-ounce bottles, but those days are over. I'd like to try the draft. I know it's on draft at some places. Well.
Is William Kepley still sitting, or the?
Yeah, we're going to him, right? We're going to him right now, and he's going to give us his final score on the infamous, or in some ways successful. It is a successful product, the Cisco, and I'd like to find out what year that came out. I'm going to do some research on that Cisco.
Yeah, these products, some of these have been superseded by the flavored malt beverage category. I saw the sales figures recently of the Steel Reserve Alloy series, the 211, and I mean they were double digits.
Oh,
in the growth category, they just introduced 2 new ones: a Blue Naz and a Tropical Storm, I think. So a lot of people apparently are drinking these products. You know, and I think it hadn't been that long ago that Natty Rush entered the fray.
Yeah,
from the Anheuser. So this is a category that is sort of superseding like the Mogan David, the MD 2020s, this and Cisco Thunderbird. These products are sort of have sort of gone into the foreground, in the forefront, like these flavored malt beverages, like at 8%. That is a sweet spot compared to this. You know, a totally different ballpark. But for this, you know, as far as a rating goes, all I can say is it's an A for an alcohol delivery system. It does the job. You know, it's not. I'm not about ready to throw up or puke. It's not repulsive. It just, you know, people that drink these, they know what they're getting. So, and for me, it was an outlier, just, you know, a curiosity purchase. And I've tried a few of these along, you know, here recently. Some of the 8% variants of the different brands, the Brass Bull Schlitz, the 211 series, the Natty Rush, just for a change of pace. That's all. You know, some people are curious that they will stick their hand on a hot stove. I guess that's just me. I've always had that streak in me of curiosity, maybe to a fault, and that, you know, so it's fine. I probably won't get another one, but I'll move on to something. I may see something else, another brand or something, but I'm glad I tried it. Just one of those things. I do have a bottle to show for it.
What's your score again? Your number?
Okay, an A, we'll say a 93.
Fair.
The lower end of the A category for what it is.
An A.
You know, I've never even heard of Cisco.
But it was right beside the MD 2020s in the convenience store cooler.
Yeah, we definitely don't get those down here.
Yeah, like I said, I spotted it last week when I picked up the Earthquake High Gravity 10% variant, and then I went home and I did a little research on it, and I said, I'm going to grab one of those because this is one of those products I may never see again. You know, here today, gone tomorrow, because like I said, this is a declining category in relationship to the flavored malt beverages, which are dominating more of the cooler space. So I grabbed the peach one here, and if I saw another flavor, I might pick one of those up. But like I said, you know, it was something to try, and sort of like these are sort of for me like the chiladas. It's an outlier, something for occasional, you know, consumption.
Right.
And I'm thinking maybe the referee of the Saints Rams game may have drank a couple of these before he made that call. in the fourth quarter, the pass interference, the no call pass interference. He may be the Cisco kid.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. I just was looking at it and I'm like, I don't understand what I'm just looking at.
That was the worst call probably in professional sports since the Don Dinkinger call at first base in the '85 World Series between the Royals and the Cardinals, the Missouri series. That was one of the most infamous calls, the Don Dinkinger, and this one's going to go down in lore just like that one.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to change. It's going to bring about an NFL rule change very soon, where these blatant no calls or wrong calls at the end of games, or even just throughout the game, they're going to be able to review them and then throw the flag after the fact. I mean, they're going to have to do something about this. It's ridiculous.
Jay, I have a question for you. Do they still make Boone's Farm apple wine?
They still make Boone's Farm, but I think that in most cases it is a flavored beer, because when I was at Walmart, I saw Boone's Farm and I looked very carefully at the bottle and it said flavored beer on the bottle.
Okay, because when I was in college, that was the same thing. That was the thing that the students were drinking. And it was fairly high alcohol at the time.
Yeah, Boone's Farm was a wine, but if you remember, George Herbert Walker Bush in 1991 signed this tax increase, which put a big tax on wine. So almost overnight, all the wine coolers and flavored wines suddenly became flavored malt beverages because the tax was not raised on beer. So, yeah. But, Michael, the answer is yes.
Okay. Did John just join? Did I see it?
Okay, hold on a second before I forget. And we're going to read the comments. From what I can tell right here, the first time that the Cisco trademark was used was in January 24th, 1984. And it was from a company that is no longer in business called Guild Wineries and Distilleries. Then it was acquired by Canandaigua Wine Company, which became known as Constellation Brands, who turned around and sold it to the Wine Group LLC. So there's the answer on that.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Would that be, I'm sorry, good evening, gentlemen. Would that be Taylor Wines you guys were talking about?
No, Cisco.
Oh, Cisco. That would be, yes. I remember drinking Cisco in my early college years, and all I will say is that I regret drinking Cisco.
Now, wait, did we have somebody that dropped off just now?
Michael, I think Michael's phone may have just died, actually. It was making noise.
And that was that buzz I heard.
It was giving him an alert. It was giving him an alert that the battery was about to run. All right, now, Jean-Pierre, I'm going to give you.
Good evening, John. Good evening, James, William, Jay. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good evening down there in Mobile. We're going to give you a few minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to read the comments, and then we'll close it out. So I know you were running late. So what wild card do you have tonight?
Tonight, again, I am drinking Heineken. As you can see, the premium quality beer. I had to pick up the missus from work. It is, I don't know what the ABV in this.
5%.
Okay, 5% ABV. Right now, I am making some dinner. I'm about to fry some shrimp, and I think shrimp will probably go good with this Heineken tonight that I'm drinking. So, yeah. Heineken should be in a green bottle, not in a can. Like certain beers, as I mentioned the other day, the certain beers that should be known to be only in bottles, not in cans. Heineken and Corona should only be in bottles, not cans. So that's just my gripe for that. But anyway, Heineken is something I've been drinking since I was got a chance to hide from my parents and drunk when I was a kid, Heineken. But a very good beer, very enjoyable, a good European lager, and nothing more needs to be said about that. So,
How would you? Hey, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wine group and they're not showing Cisco. This has got me freaked out. Well,
Cisco should be kind of different, for whatever the reason.
well, they're showing MD 2020, sir. What do you score that Heineken?
I will score Heineken being as a classic lager. I score it as A+ for me.
A+. Whoa, what number?
Yes.
What number? What number?
Well, that would probably be like a 9.4, 9.5.
A 95? Okay.
Yeah.
So Michael just
I'm
real quick, guys. Michael just texted me and said he lost his connectivity and to say goodbye to the group. And yeah, he's sorry, but he lost his connection.
Understandable.
I'm texting him your score, John, for the Heineken 94 because he likes to keep track of it.
No, he said 95.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I just noticed that the wine group updated their website, but it's got me confused a little bit. All right, well, I'll get off of that.
So who owns Taylor? Who owns Taylor Wines now? Is it the wine group or is it Constellation Brands? Who?
Constellation, Canandaigua, New York.
Okay.
And if
Like
you
I
want
said,
if you look on their website, they'll give you the whole lineup. It's a huge portfolio.
I went everywhere trying to find the Taylor White. I mean, not everywhere, but I called everywhere trying to find the Taylor White, and I could not find it in my area, and even in Pascagoula or Miles Point, Mississippi, could not find.
But wait a minute. I begged y'all to write that 1-800 number down because if you call Constellation Brands, they'll tell you actually what stores sell the stuff.
Okay.
You can call them on the phone. They're still open right now.
Text me the number. Text or put the number out there. Text me the number, one or the other, Jay. I'll see what's up because I enjoy the red, but I just can't find the white or the pink or the other.
I'll try to get that to you tomorrow if I can remember. But if you get on their website, it says contact us and you can call. But I'll get it to you, and you can call them, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, this. And it may not be accurate because they rely on their distributors. But you can call. They'll say, here's the stores that sell it, and then you can call the store and see if they have it.
I've been pleasantly surprised on these locator tools. They've been pretty accurate.
Yes, I've been very pleased myself.
Yeah, that's one area. I've ripped some of the websites and some of the shoddy marketing advertising and such. But as far as the locator tool itself, it's pretty been spot on for me the times I've used it. Yeah, you're right. And I called Sazerac last month, and I was looking for a Canadian whiskey called James Fox. And the guy said, "Hold on now, sir. Hold on." And you could tell he's looking it up. He says, "Okay, here's the place on Sheffman Tour Highway." And he doesn't know where these places are. He's in Kentucky at Buffalo Trace looking it up. He said, "Here's a place called Savannah Discount." And he said, "Do you know where Barataria Boulevard is in Marrero?" I said, "I know exactly where that is." He said, "They've got it." He said, "And they've got it at a place called Broadway Liquor in New Orleans." I said, "Okay." I went to Broadway Liquor, right there on the shelf, James Fox. Another option for someone is to look up your local distributor's website. We have one here, Cafe, which lists all the products, and they have their own product locator. That's how I found the Earthquake High Gravity. It was right there sitting on the shelf, a fresh, and I was lucky to get a fresh one. It was like 3408, 340th day of December. So it was less than a month old. To get a product like Earthquake, which could sit on the shelf for a long time, to get one that fresh was pretty impressive. And so check your local distributor's website too.
Yeah, I just called the distributor about 5 days ago. I called the distributor 5 days ago, and they gave me very detailed information. But people just don't do it because I guess, William, they just don't know.
Well, I was talking to somebody today. I was at the store, and I was talking to someone about, I guess, Genesee Creamy. I was at Rouse's in Saraland, and I asked them about Genesee Cream Ale, and I also asked them about, the Taylor wines, and this guy dropped stuff off, just stocking beer, whatever, and say, hey, they all just sell Genesee, and say, no, we don't, the only stores that do, I think there's one other store that do, I think it's somewhere down the street. I said, okay, great. I went down the street thinking that he knew what he was talking about, and turned out that grocery store did not sell Genesee Cream Ale. So I was like, okay, that was a wasted trip. So
right.
But,
so what we're giving you is the reliable way to do it.
Yeah, Genesee does have a locator tool on their website, and I've used it for the different brands.
Golf Coast Distributing.
brand.
Yeah.
Talking to somebody who's a delivery man is not what I would call reliable sources.
Right.
Now, y'all, if people have to drop off, I understand, but I'm going to read these comments because the viewers were nice enough to watch, and I think it would be ugly to not read the comments. So
yes,
this is just going to take a few minutes, so everybody bear with me.
That's fine. I need to run to the store to get more beer. Then again, maybe not. So, go ahead.
All right. Here's the live chat, not top chat, live chat. That's everybody. Okay. Here's where we're going. Mr. Amazing says the best beer reviewer on YouTube. How goes it, Ron? Well, it's going quite well, although we're kind of tired. At least I am. Mystery Music says, hi, all beer brothers. I don't know who's echoing, but you could do me a favor or not. All right. I'm going to mute you, John, and it's not personal. It's business. Like Michael Corleone says, strictly business. Although, actually, I was ironic because it really was personal with him. All right. Now, Eric Alliance says, drinking an Old English 800. Good choice. Mystery Music says, need more ABV. Smiley face with tears. Daryl E says, drinking Rolling Rock and listening to Tomorrow Never Knows when I got the notification. Cheers. Oh, from the Beatles, 1966. Okay. Yes, I have that album. It's called Revolver. Let's go back. Mystery Music says, wow, I'd love to join this one day. You're welcome to join. JTLBZ says, cheers from Ohio. Stay away from that Cisco. I know people went to jail because they got too crazy. Laugh out loud. Jack Cottrell says, natty daddy. Bart Robinson says, hey guys, enjoying a 22-ounce Old English bomber with my seafood lasagna dinner. Goes well, I must say. Erica Lyons fan said, Bart, I had Taco Bell with my Old English 824-ounce can. And then Erica Lyons fan says, like fist bump. Okay, Bart Robinson says, nice, Eric. Eric says, was going to make a brass monkey. That funky monkey. But I was thirsty. Laugh out loud. Mystery Music says, I'm going to try to make a Michelada beer tonight. I tried it, and it was a colossal failure. Ricky Grant says, have any of you tried Ham's beers from the land of sky blue waters of Wisconsin? Yes.
Yeah.
I have. I even tried the Ham's Golden Draft, the old Ham's Genuine Draft. Okay. Bart Robinson says, I buy 16-ounce packs of cans of Ham's regularly. Good standard lager, great price. It is.
We used to get the 16-pack, but they don't sell it here anymore in Mobile, sadly.
You mean the 16-pack?
No. I mean the 16-ounce cans of Ham's. They used to do it, but they discontinue it.
All right, that's it. That's a new one on me, a 16-pack. Okay, Sandbag says, debating if I should drink my High Life or my Steel Reserve. Blake Alfred says, cheers. Ricky Grand says, Cisco seems it will knock you out. Good night, Irene. Sandbag says, gotta try Cisco. Never seen it where I'm at. Mystery Music says, yes, sir. Like Ham's, great for cheap beer. Cisco. Mystery Music says, Cisco's almost killing him. And then smiley face with tears. Well, he ain't dead. Tiku Murray says, what a motley crew. And then Blake Alfred says, ha, ha, ha. And then Duke the Alien Wizard says, oh, no, we're not going to entertain that. All right, now. Okay, Cold Cut Raleigh says, William, Michael, and John are too good for the other two creeps in this panel. David Duke and Mr. Ring-a-Ding Dummy. Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah, let's move on from that comment. Let's move on from that. So,
Grass monkey.
yeah.
Monkey.
Let me do a little house cleaning here.
There's
All right,
always somebody. There's always got somebody got something to say that is not always, correct. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Let's say it like that. Trev's Travel Tale says they refill Heineken bottles in China with fake beer. Makes you sick. Wouldn't buy it there. And Lee Russell says, could I have a source for that claim? And then he says he saw a video by a South African that lives there. He said, well, that's not a valid source then.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, their quality control is not to be, desired.
And they're talking about the sourcing the contention. Okay. Gavin Field said, this is my new favorite YouTube channel. Open my eyes to American adjunct lager. Well, thank you, Gavin Field. And then they're still talking about this other stuff. All right. Gavin says he's enjoying a Miller Genuine Draft, and then Trev says more beer tastings, please, Jay. Yeah, well, I do them like incessantly. Okay, and then JJV says, "Sup, Ron?" Well, we're just closing this up. And then Robert Browning says, "What about Pabst Easy? Review it soon." Oh, I've already reviewed it. I've just got to post it. Yeah, it's already recorded. Okay, well, that's it. We had comments, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but mostly good, sensible comments. And I mean, my beer was, I don't like light beer, so I mean, it's not even fair to criticize it. It's kind of silly. It'd be like saying I don't like spinach, so spinach is bad. Well, no, you don't like it, don't eat it.
Yeah. But Popeye likes spinach.
So it did. Look what it did for him.
Herbert
Now,
Walker Bush didn't like broccoli, right?
George Herbert Walker Bush didn't like broccoli.
I don't send me no broccoli. Yeah,
Well, any last comments before we close out the extravaganza?
The light beer that I would like to try is the Old Milwaukee Light, but in my area, you can only get it in a 12-pack. That back on Beer Advocate, the Bros gave it a very high score, like in the low 80s back before they switched their rating system. That's the one I would be curious to try. If I ever run across like a 24-ounce can, or maybe I might even pick up a multi-pack of it sometime. But that's the one that intrigues me. If they like it, a light beer like that, it's like I said, it sort of piqued my curiosity.
That one is 3.9%, right? ABV.
3.8 to 3.9, I'm not sure, but they said it was like the standard for light beer.
Talking about the Old Milwaukee Light.
Old Milwaukee Light, the Bros. This was the Bros score.
Yes, I agree with that. I tried it and I did like it too. Yes.
They also gave a good score for the same for a beer with the same close to the same ABV, and that was Genesee Light. I think it was like 3.8, 3.9. And I think, Jay, you said it was mostly based on weight, like you said.
Okay, now you got to be careful about those, because some of these websites, and I believe it was the Genesee, they were saying that it was some alcohol level by weight. But
right.
You got most beer companies express their alcohol level by volume. And like they'll tell you, on the Zithology online kind of like educational course, that usually you can use a rule of thumb that ABW will be about a percentage less than ABV.
Right.
So if it says 3 point by ABW, it'll be about 4.0 ABV. It's not exact, but it's about that.
One blind taste test I would love to do, and I plan to do soon, is the Busch versus Bud Light. There's only 1/10% difference between the ABV and 4 calories.
Yeah, that's a good.
There's a loyal cadre of Busch drinkers, and considering they're so similar, yet they're marketed seemingly to a different consumer base. I would love to try and actually if I could tell the difference between those two. If not, just drink Bush.
Well,
Right. I think I might do
Cheaper.
that taste challenge. I think I might do that taste challenge now that you brought it up, because that is a fascinating thing.
I mean, they're so similar, the stats. You know, close your eyes and just take a sip. You might
Just
be
like-
surprised because the Bush is cheaper, and you may be actually getting a little more of a Bush is skirting that line between the light beer and the regular. You know, I think Rolling Rock would be the next one at 4.4%. That's another one I like to do some taste. Use that as my control beer, and maybe test it against some light beers and some other ones that's in the lower end of the AAL category.
Well,
just a thought.
Well, William, there's no difference between Bush and Bush Light. I mean, they only separate about maybe a difference by maybe 1 or 2%. Yeah, Jay showing 2. Yeah, there's no difference between those two beers. I mean, to me, Bush and Bush Light kind of taste similar to me.
0.2, not 2%.
Yeah,
2. Exactly. Sorry.
Yeah, and the calorie count is minimal. But the recipe is different. But yeah. Oh well. Any last comments? Going once.
I'm glad there were some people that at least the Cisco listed a little bit of interest apparently from the chat. So I'm glad it. I'm glad at least done that.
I'm very glad that you brought that in.
I was a willing victim for that. I was a willing participant.
I think it was a very good idea. Any last comments from James or John or? Okay, I'm finished because I'm okay. All right, so well, that was very good. This Wildcard Wednesday. We appreciate Michael Komarov taking the scores and giving his presentation, although his phone zapped out on him, but he pretty much got the gist of it. And so next week it'll probably be back to Eric's channel, Thomas Meadow 75, but then you never know how that's going to work. But if they're not doing it, then I guess I'll do it again.
I enjoyed it. Another good Wildcard Wednesday in the books.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thanks folks for watching this video.
Enjoyed it.
Let's see if there's any last comments. Robert says, what about Pabst Easy? Reviewing soon? Oh, yeah, I already talked about it. All right, Tyler Anderson says mug of beer. And then Schlitzman 2110 says Schlitz on tap. I've had Schlitz. I've actually had Schlitz on draft. And it was at the, it was in Milwaukee. Right after they came out with the Gusto. It was very soon after the Gusto. And it was on draft. And it was very good. But that was. Ooh.
That'll be the Schlitz Gusto, or not the Schlitz.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Gusto on draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, everybody take care and have a safe and good Wednesday night.
Good night, everybody. Hey, birthday coming up on Saturday. I'm going to get wasted. Then again, maybe should not get wasted.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the second option. Should not.